What if the greatest player of all time never retires? What if soccer, the sport that has so often said goodbye to its idols with tears and tributes, this time decides there is no final chapter? David Beckham, yes, the Englishman who once was a style icon, national team captain, and global marketing figure, is now the man who wants to break that logic. Because Beckham didn't just convince Messi to leave Europe, he wants him forever. And he says it bluntly, "I will never let this player retire." That's how this story begins, with a phrase that sounds exaggerated, but in the context of Messi, feels almost logical. Because if there is someone capable of defying time itself, someone who at 38 years old is still decisive, someone who turns every match into a spectacle, it's him. And Beckham knows it. He lives it from the inside. He enjoys it as the owner of Inter Miami, but also as a fan, as someone who understands that having Messi isn't having a player, it's having soccer itself. Beckham tells it with excitement, with pride, with that mix of businessman and supporter that defines him. He says that when he sees Leo play, he feels like victory is guaranteed. That it doesn't matter who the opponent is or where they play or what the weather is. If Messi is on the field, there's magic. And that's why, even if it sounds like a joke, he means it seriously. He will keep playing for the rest of his life, because his talent never dies. Exaggerated? Maybe. But it's also true that since Messi arrived in Miami, he hasn't stopped surprising anyone. Not just because of the goals, the assists, or the titles, but because of the way he transformed an entire league, the way he turned a young club into a global brand, the way he made thousands of people say, "We are here for Messi." And Beckham hears it, sees it, feels it, and celebrates it. There's something more, something that goes beyond soccer. Beckham talks about Messi as if he were a gift from destiny. He says that if someone had asked him 6 years ago, he would have said it was impossible to have him on his team. But today, he has him, and he considers it an honor. Because Messi doesn't just score with his feet, with his head, or with his magical left foot. According to Beckham, he has even scored with his hand, and he says it laughing, like someone who knows he's talking about a player who transcends rules, limits, and statistics. Now then, what does this mean for us? The ones who have followed him from Rosario to Paris, from Camp Nou to Lusail? It means there is a new chapter, a chapter where Messi is not only playing, but is a symbol, an ambassador, a living legend. And there are people like Beckham who are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that chapter never ends. And here comes the inevitable question. Should Messi keep playing for as long as he wants, even if he's no longer in Europe's elite? Or is there a moment where you have to say, enough, close the curtain and let the myth remain untouched? Because even though we all want to see him forever, we know soccer has its timing, its cycles, its farewells. But of course, Messi is not everyone. Messi is Messi, and if there is someone who can write his own ending, it's him. That's why when Beckham says he'd give him the entire Inter Miami club, it doesn't sound crazy. It sounds like recognition, gratitude, that feeling of witnessing something unrepeatable. What does Messi mean? Not what he won, not how many goals he scored, not how many Ballon d'Ors he has. What does Messi mean? That's the question that crosses generations, jerseys, languages, and borders. Because Messi is not just a player. He is a cultural phenomenon, an emotional symbol, a living narrative written every time he touches the ball. And understanding what Messi means is not looking at statistics. It's looking at what he makes people feel. Messi is the silence before the goal. He is that instant in which the stadium freezes because everyone knows something is about to happen. He is the pause before the impossible pass, the feint that breaks defenses, the slow walk that looks distracted but is actually scanning the field like a chess master. Messi is the player who doesn't need to shout to lead, who doesn't need exaggerated gestures to move people. His language is soccer itself. And that, in a world that is increasingly noisy, fast, and obsessed with image, is revolutionary. Because Messi represents the opposite: precision, humility, consistency. He is not the guy who shows up once and disappears. He is the one who is always there. The one who plays well even when he doesn't shine. The one who turns the difficult into routine. How many times have we seen one of his goals and said, "Looks easy," and then you try it on a field and you realize it's not? You don't teach that. You feel it. Messi is also time. He is memory. He is the kid who debuted in 2004 and in 2025 is still relevant. How many players span 2 decades without losing relevance? How many allow parents and kids to watch him together? Messi is that, the meeting point between generations. The one who unites the grandfather who saw him in Beijing 2008 with the grandson who saw him lift the World Cup in Qatar. The one who makes a Real Madrid fan respect him, who makes an English fan admire him, who makes a Japanese fan follow him. Because Messi doesn't belong to one club, he belongs to football. And in Argentina, of course, he is something else entirely. He is identity, redemption, the one who made us believe again. Because for years he was the best in the world, but he didn't win with the national team. And that hurt. Not because of him, because of us. Because we knew it was unfair, that football owed him something. And when he won everything, Copa America, the Finalissima, the World Cup, it wasn't just a sporting victory. It was emotional justice. It was as if the universe said, yes, you were right, this guy is different. But Messi is also contradiction. He doesn't fit the mold. He's not tall, he's not physically dominant, he's not charismatic in the traditional sense. He doesn't sell scandals, doesn't chase cameras, doesn't feed controversy. And yet, he is the most influential. How do you explain that? You explain it because Messi doesn't need decoration. His talent is so pure, it doesn't need packaging. He is like true art. No explanation needed, just contemplation. And now, in this final stage, in Miami, in MLS, in a more relaxed context, Messi is still Messi. It doesn't matter if he plays against lesser-known teams, if the stadiums are smaller, if the matches don't have Champions League tension. Because every time he steps onto the field, football falls into place. And David Beckham knows it. He protects him like a treasure. Every fan who buys a ticket just to watch him walk knows it. Every kid who imitates him at recess knows it. So, what does Messi mean? He means that football can be art, that it can be emotion without screaming, that it can be leadership without arrogance, that it can be history without forced epic. Messi is proof that the extraordinary can live inside the simple, that you can be the best without losing yourself, that you can move people without manipulating them. And that's why when people talk about his retirement or his possible absence from the 2026 World Cup, it's not just a sporting question, it's existential. Because soccer without Messi will be different. Not worse, not better, different. Like when a star that shined for years finally dims. The memories will stay, the videos will stay, the goals will stay. But something indescribable, something only he has, will be gone. So now I leave it to you. What does Messi mean to you? Is he just a player, or is he part of your story? I'm reading your comments. And if you want to keep exploring what Messi represents, his gestures, his silences, his goals, his defeats, his redemption arcs, his decisions, subscribe. Because as long as Messi keeps playing, soccer still makes sense. And when he's gone, we'll keep telling the story. Because Messi doesn't end, he transforms.